The Death Riders was a concept that at the start seemed like something that was going to really help AEW get over, or rather I should really say just get out of their cold streak and really push them towards any sort of relevancy and to really peak an interest level in a lot of fans all across the wrestling, scope and world. And so what essentially is happening now is it is fizzled into this group that is just there with no real purpose or actual substance anymore. They're essentially just a group that just likes to beat up on people that they want to beat up on, or anyone that's just trying to go for the World Heavyweight title or the Trios titles, which is funny because I forgot that they had the Trios titles as well. Now, I wanted to make this video to follow up from when I had mentioned what I'm talking about now in my recent AEW Dynamite review, reaction, whatever you want to call it. But I was talking about things in that video where people can look forward towards, certain angles and stars to actually give them a purpose to tune in week to week. And I would have loved to have made this a different video and talk about why this group, the Death Riders, formerly, the Combat Club or the Blackpool Combat Club, is something that, definitely was needed to spruce up more interest overall in the product. But unfortunately, it just seems like the group as a whole is just completely directionless, and I'm not really sure if it's the poor writing on the creative side, or if it's up to Jon Moxley himself, or if it's a Tony Khan thing, or if it's a mixture of all of the above. Because let's not forget, in AEW, there seems to be a lot of leeway when it comes to stars and their creative control over their own characters. And it seems like people can really get behind what it is that they're trying to accomplish or what they're trying to do. And, that's actually really good to have that type of creative input and to, get more involved with where you as the star want to go or where you see the character going. And it does also give off, as far as like AEW as a whole, it does give off that they allow that opportunity and that chance for stars on both the men and the women's roster to flesh out their characters and everything about them to essentially create like a better full package experience. And so that's why I'm kind of at a loss for words, or just at a loss for thought, as to who really is to blame here. And like I mentioned, maybe it's a little bit of everybody, because it takes 2 or 3, however many to tango, whatever kind of dance you're trying to do. But phrasing and sayings aside, it is something that I wanted to bring up and talk to you guys about and see where you guys are at, if you guys are feeling similarly, or how exactly you may be feeling in general. As a fan of Jon Moxley, I loved how he left WWE as Dean Ambrose to go and pursue, what he wanted to do with his career and how he wanted to pursue that. And he went the actual professional wrestler route, where he went to a company that was able to pay him the big dollars, but also providing him a lot of fun in doing what he's doing within his own company, and as well as being able to go over to like New Japan and wrestle over there. I think he's had a pretty good run so far up to this point, but I feel like this is one of those downsides that, with a little bit of tender loving care, I think they could really turn this around. But realistically, I think what really needs to happen, because of the lack thereof with the Death Riders, they're just uninteresting, uninspired, they're directionless, like I mentioned. I think what needs to happen is they really need to just go back to the drawing board and actually give this guy his proper vacation. because I'm pretty sure it's been a while since we heard about Jon Moxley trying to take a vacation, but Tony Khan, just needed him, and he was just like, all right, I guess I'll just not do it. I don't really know at the time of this recording if he actually ever did take that vacation. I'm pretty sure he didn't, but if he did, great. And my point still stands. He should still basically go and take a vacation and just be off of our TVs for a while. So what am I imposing? What am I suggesting? Well, I think that he should drop the World Heavyweight title sooner than later. It does look like Edge, or I should say Cope, is going to be the one to possibly have a chance at doing so. No offense to Powerhouse Hobbs, but I highly doubt that they're gonna just out of nowhere put the title on a guy that they really haven't been warming up to our eyes like anyone else that has really been given proper television time and whatnot. Not to say that Hobbs wouldn't make a great world champion, but I think in order to put a world title on a guy like Powerhouse Hobbs, you really need to put him on TV a hell of a lot more, feature him in a lot more feuds and programs with other stars that will help get him over more. And then at that point, it'll make and feel a lot better, and it'll make more sense if, they ever do that, which it would be cool. I think he's a great star, great build, great look. He can definitely talk on the mic for, the few times that he's had an opportunity to say anything on the mic. But unfortunately, like I mentioned, I really don't think that he's going to be the one. And so right now it looks to be a Cope versus Moxley feud. I think at that point, Moxley should just drop the title to Copeland. And honestly, it'll be good for him because, I'm sure he'll feel very fulfilled in, I feel like it's safe to say he's in the twilight of his career, but he's still putting on great matches. He's still showing up, and he obviously wants to be there. So, I think that it would be really interesting to see what Cope would do with the world title, even if it was just for a little bit. And I think as far as optics are concerned, and I hate to be the person that, makes the WWE connections, but I think that one of AEW's faults, not really a fault, but I mean, just hear me out before, you type away or anything like that, is that in all seriousness and in all reality, AEW is the second best wrestling company, I guess, at least in the States. And with that in mind, by default, a lot of fans that are watching AEW more than likely came from watching WWE. And I mean, it wouldn't even make sense. Like, why would they even go out of their way to get a guy like Edge, Adam Copeland, to join AEW? And look at the reception he got when he made his debut. Of course, everyone knew who he was, and everyone was pretty excited because that's Edge, even though he doesn't go by Edge. I think if you take that into consideration, a lot of people will at least be familiar with his, face, not the name, because, but as soon as they see, him in the commercials and the ads, and it's like, oh man, like Edge is world champion, like damn, I might want to check out AEW if they haven't already. And even you could even say the same for guys like Jon Moxley, former Dean Ambrose, Bryan Danielson, or former Daniel Bryan. There's a lot of former WWE players that are and have been a part of AEW, and a big part of AEW in helping them expand and just grow overall as a company, and to get more eyes on the product as a whole. And that's not even a slight, it's not even a knock. I'm not trying to say like they need WWE guys to help them get over, but I mean, look at how it started. I mean, like Chris Jericho was the first world champion. It's like they definitely know that optics is important when it comes down to expanding and growing your audience. But I'm not here to talk about what things AEW needs to do to get more of an audience. This is a Death Riders video and a Jon Moxley video, and basically just to put emphasis behind that the experiment or the opportunity that they were given to really get something going or moving with this group is just not going anywhere anymore. I think it just needs to stop altogether. It would probably help all those guys if they disbanded and kind of just did their own thing. I feel like in a way, when you have these big groups of these talents that are just so, you know, talented in their own right, sometimes when like the group itself doesn't go anywhere, it almost feels like those individuals are being held back from doing something better or something greater. And so in this situation, I just think that after Jon Moxley hypothetically loses the title to Cope, jeez, I'll never get used to that, then they should literally just quietly break up the group. Jon Moxley takes a vacation. He's off our screens for a long while. And who knows, how would you book him on his return? I think that when he would come back, he should definitely come back to his Wild Thing theme song and maybe just get back into a program with someone who's at the top of the card, and to just get back to just having great matches, and hopefully at that point having a better storyline. Because I think that even though AEW clearly focuses on their in-ring match quality, I believe is also very important to give the viewers more of a reason outside of just putting 2 stars in a match against each other and calling it a day. I think that telling a good story or having great storytelling is a part of the equation. It's a part of the formula, and without it, it's, you know, it's not. I feel like you're not gonna get, like, you know, like it's not gonna reach its full potential. So let me know what you guys thought about this whole Death Rider situation, and if there's any other talking points or other angles that you want to hear my thoughts on, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already checked out my Raw Netflix reaction review, definitely check that out as well as my other AEW video, and if The Rock is actually okay. Take care of yourselves. May the power protect you. Vlogler right here on this channel. Stay safe, stay clean, stay inside, and I'll see you guys in the next one.